Okay, welcome back here. This is a little temp update. I don't know if you can read these real good, but I'll just kind of skim through them real quick. But I actually did a temperature reading day since it was a little bit cool outside, and I got to do my real one of my first real tests. But anyways, all these over here, I started out trying to do these every half an hour, but it just got where I think right here is like a 45-minute, then roughly about every hour. Just a few recordings that I got. These right here are the temperatures of my old heater that I built last year, and these are temperatures of the inside of the room that I'm in right now. This is the temperatures of my new heater, and this is the temperature readouts at the time I record each one of these, what the temperature was outside. This morning it started out at 37 degrees when my new heater kicked on at 10:37, and of course I went and recorded my old heater. Of course it hadn't kicked on yet. It was still 65.4 degrees, but the room temperature was 74. But when it kicked on, it was the temperature was 106.5 coming out of the new heater. Of course, my snap discs on both heaters are set the same. They're both to kick on at 110 and kick off at 90 degrees, but my temperature probes that I've got recording each box, I don't have them run all the way out through the ductwork into the heater box itself. I just got them setting inside the exhaust, reading the temperature that's actually coming into the house. So this next one I got on, my old heater finally did kick on at almost 20 minutes later, almost 10:59, and it was reading 80.1, and the room temperature had done rose up to 75.4 just off the first heater, and my new heater was reading 114.3 degrees, but outside temperature was up to 40. Then about a half an hour later, my new box was up to 126 degrees, and the inside temp was 76.8. My new heater was 135.3 degrees, and temperature outside just rose up 1 degree. Then here's about 45 minutes later, my old heater was 150.4. Inside temperature was 79. My new heater was 154.9, and it was 45 degrees outside. Here's another one about 45 minutes later. This is where my old heater, the temperature probe that I've got stuck on, it's digital. It's the one I used last year. I bought another one, but this is the first time I've seen mine. It reads high because I think once it reaches 158 degrees and above, it's out of its range of reading. So what it does, it just kicks on high. And this year, to compensate for that, to figure out what my actual temperatures are coming out of, I bought this thing right here. It's like a oven range. You just set it inside your oven to get the temperatures inside your oven. I didn't know how accurate this thing was going to be, but what I done was I just stuck it right inside the opening of the exhaust sideways. So if I didn't want to put it in like this directly face in, because it would restrict airflow, so I just kind of turned it sideways in there so it wouldn't mess with the airflow none. But when I did get the reading, when it kicked over on high about 1 o'clock, this gauge here, my oven gauge, was reading 165 degrees, and the room temperature was 81.5. And my new heater, it never did kick on high except for one time. I didn't get that reading, which I wish I should have, but it was 157.8, and it was 48 degrees outside. So roughly about an hour later, my old heater was still on high, but it come down to about 162. And in between here, I'd say roughly about 145 maybe. I did come in there and check, and I wish I'd wrote it down. But I looked on my gauge, and it's still saying high. So when I looked at this thing, it was actually sitting on 172 degrees. So, and I really wasn't for sure how accurate that was, but I was pretty amazed to see it sitting on 172. So there was another reading later on down on this list, probably about maybe 15 minutes, about a quarter after 2, maybe 2:30, somewhere around there. Or no, it was actually it was after it was after about a quarter after 3, maybe 3:30. I did come back in here. Of course, at 3 o'clock, it done come back down. The old heater, it switched off high and it come down, was reading 145.8. And the inside temperature is still rising. It's 84.7. And my new heater was 144.3. And this was the highest temperature it got, was 50 degrees today. But like I said, like right here about, I won't say probably roughly around 3:30, because I didn't do my next one until 4:18, but I wish I recorded it, because this thing right here was sitting on 172 degrees. Well, not at that time, but while I was trying to figure out if this was how accurate this thing was, what I meant to say was about 3:30 or so. I think it cooled down to about 125.6, I think is what the digital thermometer is reading. So when I went and looked at this thing, it was sitting right dead on 125. So evidently this little oven range heater right here is fairly accurate. So I'm hoping that the 172 was the actual temps that it peaked out at. And about 4:35, or actually a little bit before that, because I didn't record when my old heater did kick off before my new one did. And I'm guessing the reason why it kicked on before my old one did this morning, is because of the curved surface that I put on it. It does collect a little bit more of the sunlight before my old heater does. And it's actually, the new heater is actually sitting on the west side, so it's actually getting sun right before my old heater does, because of that curved surface. So here about 4:35, I got recorded as the final one I did. That's when my new heater did kick off, but my heater from last year kicked off probably about 15 minutes before that one. Maybe about 10 minutes before that one. And the inside room temperature was still about 84 degrees. And it kicked off coming into the house and reading 92.1, so, and it was 46 degrees. So that's just a little update on what my heater's been doing. Started out at 37 degrees today, and they did kick on about a little after 10:30 this morning, and ran almost, well, exactly 6 hours. But the sun also, about 4:30 or so, it did start getting a little bit cloudy, so I'd say it would probably ran about another 45 minutes to almost an hour, I would guess. From what I did earlier this year, my first test, I think it kicked off about 5:30. So this is just an update on what I've done today. Just got a few numbers recorded, and was testing out my new little oven range heater here, and evidently this is a pretty good accurate thermometer here. So I might wind up getting me another one of these to put in my other one, just to see how hot that one does get. But there's the numbers right there. Thank you for watching.